Hey guys, and welcome to the video. We're going to be discussing and listing all the confirmed DCU characters that we know so far for James Gunn's reboot. So let's dive in and see if your favourite DC character will be appearing on the list. But before we get started guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and stay up to date with all the movie news we have. So guys, we're going to take a look at this Screen Rant article, all 28 DC Universe characters confirmed in canon by James Gunn. So since the announcement of James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC Universe in January 2023, many characters have been confirmed to join the new franchise. So yeah guys, obviously DC's being rebooted because they've had a string of bad box office results. The franchise was kind of in disarray. It needed to be rebooted. James Gunn and Peter Safran has come in. We don't know if any characters from the DCEU are coming over yet. That's yet to be confirmed. But we do have a list of characters here which have been 100% confirmed. So the new DC Universe hasn't truly started yet, but 28 characters have been confirmed to be appearing in James Gunn and Peter Safran's new franchise. After several projects in Warner Bros. DC Extended Universe were met with poor responses and disappointing box office totals, director James Gunn and producer Peter Safran were hired in October 2022 as co-CEOs of the new DC studios. Together, Gunn and Safran have devised a plan to reboot DC's live-action franchise, announcing their plans on January 31st, 2023. With 10 new projects announced, several new characters from DC Comics will be introduced into the DC Universe, and many from Warner Bros.' previous franchise will be recast. While Gunn and Safran's plans for DC live-action future were originally expected to consist of a soft reboot of the DCEU, allowing some to continue in the future, it has been confirmed that 2025's Superman Legacy will start a new canon for DC Studios. Some actors are reprising their DCEU roles, but they'll be playing different versions of their characters. As 2023's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom will mark the end of the road for the DCEU, James Gunn revealed the future of the DC Universe in January 2023, and since then, 28 characters have been confirmed so far, gearing up to make their mark in the new franchise. So guys, we're going to take a look at this list of 28 characters that have been confirmed for James Gunn's DCU reboot. So strap yourself in as we go through the list and have a look to see if maybe your favorite character will be making the move to the new DCU. So here we go, guys. So guys, we're going to start off our list at number 28 with Adrian Chase, aka the Vigilante. Freddie Stormer debuted as Adrian Chase, aka Vigilante, in Peacemaker Season 1, a TV spin-off from James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Vigilante was featured as an associate of Cena's Chris Smith in Peacemaker, and Gunn confirmed on threads via Reddit that Vigilante would be returning, quote, probably before Peacemaker Season 2. In DC Comics, Vigilante is a former district attorney of New York City who became an anti-hero after his wife and children were killed by Scarpolini mobsters. This backstory was changed significantly for Peacemaker, which made Chase a restaurant busboy, but his return to the DCU future will develop his story even further. So guys, number 27, Amanda Waller. Viola Davis appeared several times in the DCEU after debuting as Amanda Waller, the director of Argus, in 2016 Suicide Squad. Davis also showed up in the Suicide Squad, Black Adam, Peacemaker Season 1. The DCEU set to feature her more prominently. However, as Viola Davis will return in Waller, a Max TV series that will act as an aperitif to Superman Legacy. This confirmation came during Gunn's January announcement, and since Waller has ties to teams such as the Suicide Squad, the Justice Society of America, and Task Force X in DC Comics, she could have part to play in several upcoming DC studio projects. Number 26, Booster Gold. Booster Gold was confirmed to be joining the live-action DC Universe during James Gunn's January 2023 announcement, after previously not being featured in the DCEU. Born Michael John Carter in the 25th century Gotham City, Carter traveled to the 20th century using advanced technology from a museum and became the superhero known as Booster Gold. Booster Gold will premiere on Max and is set to be an outright comedy set in the DC Universe. It's unclear who will portray the futuristic hero in the live action or when Booster Gold might get a release. But since the character has ties to Argus and the Justice League, he is an excited addition to the DC Universe. Number 25, Bride of Frankenstein. DC Comics' Bride of Frankenstein will debut in 2024's animated series Creature Commandos, which will see Amanda Waller, voiced by Viola Davis, assemble a Black Ops team of monsters, akin to the Suicide Squad. Game of Thrones and Torchwood's Indria Varma will voice the Bride of Frankenstein, one of the leads of the series opposite Frank Grillo's Rick Flag Sr. In DC Comics, the Bride works for SHADE, a counter-terrorism organization that deals with otherworldly threats and monsters, and the Creature Commandos consisting of its best agents. However, with Waller's involvement, it seems that Creature Commandos could be brought together by Argus in the DCU. Number 24, Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. Batman is one of the most coveted superhero roles. Though it is unknown who will assume the role of the Caped Crusader in the DC universe, The Brave and the Bold will introduce a new actor as Batman. Ben Affleck portrayed Bruce Wayne in the DCEU, a billionaire who became the vigilante Batman to protect Gotham City. Robert Pattinson also portrays Batman in Matt Reeves' The Batman, which will continue to develop as a DC Elseworlds project. The Flash director, Andy Muschietti, has been confirmed to direct The Brave and the Bold, which Gunn mentioned would be a strange father and son story, introducing the Bat family to the DCU. Number 23, Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker. After debuting in the Suicide Squad and headlining his own series with Peacemaker, John Cena is set to return as Christopher Smith in Peacemaker Season 2. James Gunn confirmed on Twitter that Cena would be reprising his role for Season 2, though it's unclear when Season 2 will release, as James Gunn has dedicated his time to working on Superman Legacy. Christopher Smith aims to bring peace to the world and is willing to use extreme violence to complete this mission. With DCU canon resetting with Superman Legacy, it's unclear exactly what Peacemaker will be up to when he is reintroduced. 22. Clark Kent, aka Superman. Perhaps the most highly anticipated addition to the new DC universe is Clark Kent, aka Superman. Henry Cavill portrayed the Man of Steel in DCEU, but was controversially dropped from the role in December 2022. Gunn announced that he would write and direct Superman Legacy, the first film in the DCU, and that the film would revitalise the iconic hero. Born on Krypton, Superman's powers are gifted to him from Earth's sun, making him a superior hero in every way. In June 2023, it was announced that David Corenswet had been cast as Superman, a younger, more vibrant, and more optimistic version of the character than Cavill's portrayal. Number 21, Damian Wayne, aka Robin. Damian Wayne will be introduced to live action for the first time in Andy Muschietti's The Brave and the Bold. The son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul in DC Comics, Damian was raised by his mother and the League of Assassins and was introduced to his father after being trained as a cold-blooded killer. Although Damian became Robin to his father's Batman, the pair constantly had trouble connecting with each other. It's unclear what storyline will unfold in Brave and the Bold, but this will be the first time that father and son dynamic has been used or seen on screen in live action. Number 20, Dr. Phosphorus. Dr. Phosphorus will be featured as a member of the eponymous team in DCU's Creature Commandos and is set to be voiced by Alan Tudyk. In DC Comics, Phosphorus is a villain to Batman with no connection to the Creature Commandos, apart from in 2011's Flashpoint event. He gained his powers after a nuclear plant that he insisted be built melted down, shifting his body's chemicals components from silicon to phosphorus. It's unclear how he'll join the DCU Creature Commandos, but he also has ties to the secret society of supervillains in DC Comics, which could be set up as foes to the DCU's Justice League. Number 19, Eric Frankenstein. Known only as Frankenstein in DC Comics, Eric Frankenstein is set to debut in the animated Creature Commandos, voiced by Stranger Things and Black Widow's David Harbour. Based on Mary Shelley's literary Frankenstein monster, Frankenstein was a member of the Creature Commandos in 2011's Flashpoint event, but also worked with organisations including SHADE, the Justice League Dark in the main DC continuity. This could set up an exciting future for Eric Frankenstein in the DC universe, particularly since he will be a connection to the DCU's Amanda Waller following her appearance as the team's benefactor in Creature Commandos. Number 18, G.I. Robot. Another obscure DC Comics character that will be featured in the lineup of Creature Commandos is G.I. Robot. Adapted from any of the 6 robot characters who were featured in DC Comics, the robot soldier has been depicted as a member of the Suicide Squad, Checkmate, and the Creature Commandos, with the latter featuring the Jake 1, Jake 2 versions of G.I. Robot. In the DC universe, Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother, who portrayed Kraglin in MCU's Guardians of the Galaxy franchise and appeared as Weasel and Calendar Man in the Suicide Squad, will voice G.I. Robot in the double role for the series, as he will also voice Weasel. Number 17, Guy Gardner, aka Green Lantern. Set to appear in Superman Legacy, Nathan Fillion has been cast as Guy Gardner, a member of the Green Lantern Corps. This was an unexpected addition to the DCU premiere film, but could help to set up the DCU detective story, Lanterns. In DC Comics, while Hal Jordan was perhaps the most prominent human member of the Green Lantern Corps, an intergalactic law enforcement organization, Gardner was chosen as Jordan's backup should anything happen to the latter. Fillion previously portrayed Cord Pitzner, aka the Detachable Kid, in the Suicide Squad. Number 16, Hal Jordan, aka Green Lantern. Although Guy Gardner will debut before Hal Jordan, the more recognisable Green Lantern has been confirmed to appear in the DC Universe. Ryan Reynolds portrayed Jordan in 2011's Green Lantern, which was expected to kickstart the DCEU, though these plans were scrapped after the film's abysmal performance. The character will be revitalised and is a yet unknown actor in Lanterns, taking inspiration from True Detective for a grounded, Earth-based detective story featuring Hal Jordan and John Stewart as two Green Lanterns, aided by their mythical power rings. In DC Comics, Jordan was a founding member of the Justice League, so this could be a fun avenue to follow in the DCU. Number 15, Hawkgirl. Announced alongside Fillion's Guy Gardner, Isabel Merced has been cast as Hawkgirl for DC Universe, set to make her first appearance in Superman Legacy. In DC Comics, Hawkgirl is a complex character who uses antiquated weapons and artificial wings to fly, often seen working alongside her partner and love interest Hawkman. Aldous Hodge portrayed Hawkman in 2022's Black Adam, though it's unclear if he'll return. Merced is best known for her roles in Sicario, Andorra and the Lost City of Gold, though it's unclear which version of Hawkgirl she'll portray, as there have been 3 versions in DC Comics history. Number 14, Jaime Reyes, aka Blue Beetle. James Gunn has revealed that Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle, in the first official DCU character, despite Blue Beetle releasing long before 2025 Superman Legacy. Solo Marijuana will debut as Jaime in Blue Beetle, scheduled for release on August 18, 2023. Blue Beetle was a standalone film with little connection to the wider DC universe. As Reyes acquired an alien scarab that grants him superpowered exoskeleton, Reyes has a great friendship with Booster Gold in the DC Comics, so this may be a brilliant relationship to explore in the DCU's future. Number 13, Jimmy Olsen. In April 2023, James Gunn confirmed on Twitter that Jimmy Olsen would make an appearance in Superman Legacy. Olsen is a young photojournalist at the Daily Planet, the news publication that also employs Clark Kent and Lois Lane, and since Superman Legacy will explore Superman's work at the Daily Planet, Olsen is a perfect fit. It's unclear who will portray Olsen and whether he will have abilities in Superman Legacy, as he was regularly transformed in DC Comics, granting him a wide variety of temporary powers. Michael Cassidy portrayed Jimmy Olsen in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, though this version was outed as a CIA agent who was killed by terrorists. Number 12, John Economist. Steve Agee is set to return as John Economist from the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker and Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and much like Viola Davis, Amanda Waller is expected to have a larger role in the DCU's future. Gunn confirmed on Blue Sky via Reddit in April 2023 that Agee would be reprising the role of Economist in Waller, and he is expected to have a role in Creature Commandos. Economist is a member of Argus and Waller's aide, though he found himself at odds with her after the Suicide Squad. Last seen recruiting Billy Batson to the Justice Society, it's unclear what the future holds for John Economist. Number 11, John Stewart, aka Green Lantern. As well as Guy Gardner and Hal Jordan being featured as Green Lanterns in the DCU, John Stewart is also set to debut in Lanterns, providing that Gunn and Safran are putting more emphasis on the intergalactic force than Warner Bros. Did during the DCEU. In DC Comics, Stewart was chosen as Jordan's backup after Gardner was seriously injured while trying to save a civilian, so this dynamic could play into the storyline of Lanterns. Number 10, Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl. Billed as the big science fiction epic, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow will introduce Kara Zor-El, aka the eponymous Supergirl, into the DC universe. Although Sasha Calle appeared as Supergirl in 2023's The Flash, it seems as though the role will be recast. Though nothing has been confirmed either way, Woman of Tomorrow is expected to balance Kara Zor-El's upbringing on a chunk of the destroyed Krypton with her earthly upbringing of her cousin, Superman. It's unclear who will be cast in the role of Supergirl in the DC universe. Number 9, Lois Lane. Alongside David Corenswet's casting as Superman, the marvelous Miss Maisel, Rachel Brosnahan, was announced as DCU's Lois Lane, taking over from Amy Adams, who portrayed Lois in the DCEU. Brosnahan will debut in Superman Legacy, working with Clark Kent at the Daily Planet. Lois Lane is Superman's primary love interest in DC Comics, and eventually his wife and the mother of John Kent. She is at the centre of Superman's stories, and has even suited up as Superwoman, Red Tornado, and a variety of other heroes over the years. Although Adams only played a small role in the DCEU, Brosnahan may see more attention in the new DC universe. Number 8, Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific will feature in Superman Legacy alongside Nathan Fillion, Isabella Merced as Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl respectively. It can be assumed Gafegi's version of Mr. Terrific will be Michael Holt from DC Comics rather than the earlier Terry Sloan. As an Olympic level athlete with a genius level intellect, Mr. Terrific doesn't have any innate superpowers, but uses advanced technology in his T-spheres to battle enemies for a variety of other helpful purposes. Mr. Terrific is a prominent member of the Justice Society in DC Comics, so Gathegi could have a bright future in the DC Universe after his appearance in Superman Legacy. Number 7. Nina Mazurski. One of the stranger characters to be confirmed in the DC Universe is Creature Commando's Nina Mazurski. Said to be voiced by the Strangers and the after-party Zoe Chow, Mazurski was a shade scientist in DC Comics who was tasked with genetically creating the Creature Commandos, including herself in an experiment and transforming herself into an amphibian woman. Her storyline was altered in 2011's Flashpoint event, which it seems the DCU's Creature Commandos may be taking inspiration from, so it's possible that the DCU's Mazurski could be a natural monster discovered in Romania before joining the Creature Commandos. Number 6. Perry White. During an exchange on Instagram in July 2023, James Gunn was questioned why so many heroes were appearing in Superman Legacy, and responded by stating, quote, "Superman is a man of two worlds, Clark with Lois, Jimmy and Perry, and Superman with his meta-human compatriots." This all but confirmed that Perry White, the editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet, will be appearing in Superman Legacy, though it's unclear who will be taking over from DCEU's Lawrence Fishburne in the role, as Clark Kent and Lois Lane's boss, Perry White, is an important character in the story and often an obstacle in them reporting what they want to report on. Number 5. Princess Elena Rostovic. In April 2023 Twitter post, Gunn confirmed the lineup for Creature Commandos, which included Maria Bakalova voicing Princess Elena Rostovic. A completely original character for the DC Universe, Rostovic wasn't featured on the promo art for Creature Commandos, suggesting she may not be an official member of the team, at least to begin with, and since she isn't in DC Comics, it's difficult to determine what her role may be. Bakalova previously worked with Gunn on the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, voicing Cosmo the Space Dog, a new member of the Guardians of the Galaxy team in the MCU. Number 4. Rex Mason, aka Metamorpho. Barry Anthony Carrigan, Whis, joining the cast of Superman Legacy as Rex Mason, aka Metamorpho. Usually typecast as a villain, Carrigan will portray a superhero in the DC Universe, as Metamorpho was a founding member of the Outsiders and a member of the Justice League in DC Comics. Mason transformed into the Element Man, otherwise known as Metamorpho, after being exposed to a radioactive meteorite in an Egyptian pyramid. Superman Legacy will mark Metamorpho's live-action debut on the big screen and could set up a bright future for the strange character in any number of future teams. Number 3. Rick Flag Sr. Joel Kinnaman appeared as Rick Flag in the DCEU Suicide Squad and The Suicide Squad, but his father, Rick Flag Sr., is set to appear in the animated Creature Commandos, voiced by Frank Grillo. In DC Comics, Rick Flag Sr. was a decorated fighter pilot during World War II who led the Suicide Squadron, an early precursor to the Suicide Squad. Rick Flag Sr. is an interesting addition to the cast of Creature Commandos in the DCU, as he is not a monster but a human man. It is assumed that Rick Flag Sr. will be leading the Creature Commandos, just as his son did the Suicide Squad in the DCEU. Number 2. Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing will deliver the DC Universe's first gothic horror film, set to explore the dark origins of the unusual titular character. Although there have been several iterations of Swamp Thing in DC Comics, they share the same physical characteristics, that of an anthropomorphic mound of vegetable matter, the same goals to protect their swamp and the world from supernatural threats. Logan and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny director James Mangold is attached as a writer and director for Swamp Thing, which James Gunn described as a passion project for Mangold via Twitter. It's unclear what the future holds for Swamp Thing in the DCU. And final guys, we've come to number 1, which is Weasel. Weasel made his big screen debut in 2021's The Suicide Squad, portrayed by Sean Gunn, who was set to reprise his role in Creature Commandos. The DCU universe Weasel is stranger than the characters in DC Comics, who is a former teacher who dons a Weasel costume to commit crimes, namely murder. Weasel is incredibly agile and an expert hand-to-hand combatant, which makes him a formidable if minor villain in the comics. He is most often seen as a member of the Suicide Squad, but it seems his story will be adapted for the Creature Commandos in the DC universe. So there we have it guys, with the 28 characters that have been confirmed by James Gunn to appear in the new DCU. That was quite a list to get through guys. Yeah, but it's really cool. I think that of all of these, I'm looking forward to seeing Swamp Thing, like a gothic horror DC movie. That sounds really, really super interesting. Something that we haven't seen before, so I'm really looking forward to Swamp Thing. Guys, jump into the comment section. Let me know which is your favorite character that's featured on this list. Which characters, are you looking forward to seeing most in the DCU reboot? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's been a bit of a slog to get through all the characters, but I found it super interesting to know which characters are appearing so far. I'm sure there's going to be more added to the list as we get closer and closer to the reboot. But yeah, guys, as I say, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.